Hey there, it's Tuesday, March 8th, 2022. As always, unfortunately as always, until this is done, what have you done to remove Vladimir Putin from power today? A lot of people are working on it. That's great. Anybody who sides with Putin here is either grossly misinformed, which is probably the case, but also does not value their own life, because he will kill us all if we don't bend to his beck and call. That's why he must be removed from power, and that's why the world is uniting against that. So the next step will be, who are we going to recognize as the new leader of Russia? We should start just picking someone and saying that we will start working with you instead of him. We're just going to start ignoring him until he is in front of the International Criminal Court. So do what you can wherever you are. Tell your friends the health of the planet and the human race depend on us removing a crazy person with nuclear arms. And so let's all work on that. Now let's get into other sports algorithm stuff after that. Okay. So I did a bunch of work on the NHL algorithm yesterday, because it's been winning so much and being so predictive. As a matter of fact, let's look at yesterday for a second. It's working out very, very well lately, and I've been winning almost every day. And so yesterday I won as well, and I almost won a tremendous amount if Colorado had only covered this last goal here that the Islanders scored to make it 5-4 with like 30 seconds left or something. Cost me like $2,000 in potential winnings, and I still won money on the day. I still won a few $100s, but it's just amazing how well this thing's working. Look at that projected score, exactly Toronto and Columbus. I took Columbus plus 1.5. because I saw how poorly previously Toronto had been playing and thought this was going to be a close game, and they barely came back. And they were down 3-0, and they made it 3-3. And I think they made it 3-3, and then they started losing again immediately. But anyway, point is, look at this Florida game. They put up 6. The over-under in this game was 7, and they hit it exactly, and Florida does most of the work, right? LA beats Boston. Now, in this case, it would have said take Boston, except you could see that LA had been playing well previously. And so I bet on LA, and my kid hit the target in the shot of the day yesterday for LA, so we bet LA, and there you go, winner. All right, Calgary, very, very solid team. Look at this. They hold Edmonton to the projected amount of goals, but they don't score as many, but they still win and cover. Anyway, so point is, I did some more work on this. That's the point I wanted to get at. Let's back up. The work that I did on this was I went through the matrix, and I started to identify where there were trades or people retired, and made sure that we have them on the correct team because it affects the projections. And I found a ton of errors, and like I think these goalies, like Daniel Villar is actually Dan Vladar. This name is wrong, and I changed it to Dan Vladar, so you can just get rid of this. But there's all kinds of different things that need to be edited to get the names correct. And if there's an error message of oh no, it means somebody was traded, and you have to then change their team name to the new one. But this is just checking that all the teams are correct, and it really helped. It also altered projections when I did this yesterday. So it's editing this name and this team should be the same as this name and this team, and it'll say okay if it is, and if it isn't, you'll get an error. And I don't think I have any oh no's, I think I took care of them all. But for example, if you had Johnny Brzezinski not on the Rangers, because this is where you would check. You'd say, all right, what if you have him on the Islanders by accident? You'll say, oh no, you got an error, and which team is the person actually on there, actually on the Rangers? So this will continually check, and you can just check it every day and make a quick update. Now let's go back to today's games after explaining why this thing's working well and why we can really dig into stuff. So for today, popping up, number 1 pick is Toronto over Seattle. I'm surprised to see that. But, oh yeah, something else I did. Sorry, let me keep talking. I updated goalie ratings. I changed the distribution for the goalie percentages here a little bit, up here. And the reason why I did this is everyone was lumping together really, really closely because we were using save percentage. And these guys have seen so many shots that their goals against and their save percentages are only fluctuating by small amounts, even the best to the worst goaltenders sometimes. So what I did is I weighted some other things like wins for the season and lowered the save percentage a little, I should give a little more to shutouts. I feel like that would be helpful too. Point is I changed around to get a wider distribution of percentages and see if that works better in the formulas, and it did yesterday. So we'll see if it continues today. So number 1 pick, Toronto over Seattle, because Seattle is unfortunately not playing well, and Toronto is a good team, and this line's minus 265. Says they could have a crazy night and put up 7 goals. So you're going to see an over-under in this game. Another thing I updated, by the way. Sorry, I keep talking. Another thing I updated was the input of stats. It's now the Excel export from RotoWire that you put right here, and you don't have to worry about this thing at all, actually. I don't think this does anything anymore. You can actually get rid of it completely. That's gone. So what you have now is you have an over-under for the Toronto game we're talking about. It's only set at 6.5. Hooray. The algorithm says go for it, because the algorithm's predicting somewhere between 7 and 19 goals, or 18 goals or something like that. So it really thinks Toronto will pile it on. And you saw overs and unders yesterday of 7 in a few games, and they either tied or hit. Toronto hit it yesterday too. What else do we have? Number 2 pick of the day is Tampa Bay over Winnipeg. Vasilevsky expected. Line not that bad, because Winnipeg gets some more respect than I think they deserve recently. As you can see, they've fallen off the wagon recently. And it really likes Tampa Bay there. Next, 3rd pick is Colorado at New Jersey against Nico Daws. Kemper's confirmed, Daws expected. Minus 210. Colorado coming off a win, but a close one yesterday. New Jersey surprisingly playing better. So I like that the algorithm at least brings this down to the number 3 pick. As you can see, it likes Tampa Bay better than Colorado, and Tampa Bay's line is not as bad. So that's one where the algorithm is picking off that this Colorado game may have more difficulty than we think, even though projected score-wise it thinks Colorado crushes it. But the line is tough. Colorado good at scoring goals, though, so a team over is probably not bad, and the over-under in that game is set at 6.5. That also seems like another over, because even if New Jersey plays well and scores some goals on Kemper, then you're definitely going to be over that 6.5. Vegas, or what's the 4th pick? Yep, it's Vegas at Philadelphia. Philadelphia, really rough season. Leonard expected. Carter Hart definitely going. Line minus 175. I'm not going to say the L word, but Vegas playing okay, and Philly playing a little bit better recently than not really though. They are still like, if they win a third of their games, then that's good for them. So thinks 5-3 Vegas. Vegas probably in a position where they want to be winning. So that's another decent line actually for the money line for them. Not as good lines as playing. No, I'll just keep going here. Hold on. What's the 5th pick? It's St. Louis at home against Ottawa. Look at how Bennington's rating is below Anton Forsberg. This is what's amazing about changing the goalie ratings a little bit, was just seeing where people are now. It's a little bit more spread out, and also you can see it gives the nod. No, sorry, Bobrovsky and Jerry are tied here. This is interesting. I like this look now. So, yeah, you're going to hear a lot of sirens. St. Louis and Ottawa. So St. Louis playing better than Ottawa, sure. Ottawa really not playing great. You can see this line's terrible, even though this is down at the 5th pick. So we have picks that are above this that are not as bad at the line. And Bennington's goalie rating is suspect. So this is trouble. I would not take them at minus 275. It's closer game than that. And then you've got that possibility of Ottawa plus 1.5, which even the projected score says Ottawa covers plus 1.5 here. And, at least the regular projected score. So I'd be wary of St. Louis here, even though it shows them as the 5th pick. 6th pick, Minnesota and the Rangers. Here, Minnesota not playing good. I'm surprised it favors them. Honestly, what on earth? It's because Georgiev is going. Wow. That's fascinating. So here's what's going on here. Because if you notice the video I did a couple days ago, the Rangers were the number 1 pick against Winnipeg. Okay? That was a number 1. Today, They are way down against Minnesota, a team that's playing awful lately. Why is this happening? And Minnesota's favorite. It's because I guess everybody knows Georgiev's got a bad rating. Georgiev is not Shesterkin, right? So the huge difference. And supposedly the Rangers are essentially a different team with him in net, and he's confirmed. So, I mean, you got to see an over, right? Because the Rangers are going to try to outscore, and Talbot can give up. I can see Talbot's rating went up a little bit, actually, off of the way I had used to calculate it. So that's interesting. So, fascinating. Look at that. There's 9.2 projected goals in this game. So, I'm going to be wary of the Rangers, which are a very good team. I'm not going to take Minnesota because they're a favored line. But over 6, or alternate over 6.5 even, it smells like goals here, for sure. So that's interesting. Seventh pick, the Dallas and Nashville. Dallas team playing excellent hockey, and Nashville playing better. Tough game. I can see why it's only the 7th pick. Goalie matchup, amazing. So here you got 2 teams playing well and 2 goalies playing well. It seems like an under, right? And so you can tell this is one of the lowest projected. Even this score is low. So this is 6.1 and 6.1, right? Yeah, so that's super low for the algorithm to project anything even around 6 now, the way I've been doing it. So the over-under in that game has got to be 5.5, right? Alternate under of 6 there feels like a push at, or I don't like saying that either, but it's a really solid pick because you can still push at 6, and this game, I wouldn't be surprised to see like a 2-1 game here as well, like a 1-1 that goes to overtime. Oh, you know what? It's a good bet the tie game, actually, because these goaltenders are so good, and Saros is probably going. All right, what we got for the 8th pick? Because I'm going on and on and on, but I'm going to keep going because this is fun today. Florida and Pittsburgh. Interesting goalie matchup. Thinks they can still score goals because Florida's such a big scoring team. Pittsburgh did not play yesterday. Florida did. Florida has not been as great in the last 15 days as they have been all season. Pittsburgh's solid. Good game. I understand why this line is almost pick 'em. I mean, how do you... Tough game. It says Florida, though, right? I mean, it says Florida all around, and the line is actually not that bad. See, when you have money on Florida, you usually get a run for your money. That's true. All right, what about 9th pick? And then a few more. So many games today. The 9th pick is down here. It is Chicago at home against Anaheim. I don't know about that. Game gets even closer. Projected tough call here. Says Marc-Andre Fleury can outplay Gibson. Oh my goodness, Anaheim must be having trouble. This is a tough game to pick down here. I don't know what to do there. We're starting to get down to in the weeds. Let's look at the 11th and 12th right here. This is the Washington. Actually, I'll talk about that game at the end. What's the other one? It's the 10th and 13th here. It's Arizona over Detroit. Wow, Vemilka confirmed. Doesn't think they do it by projected score, but it does because Arizona has won half their games and Detroit is falling off the wagon. So you got an underdog line here. Expect some goals for some reason in this game, which I bet you the over-under is only like 5.5. Arizona, yeah, 5.5 or 6. So seems like there could be some goals in that game, and Arizona can pull off an underdog because they are underdog win because they're playing better. And Vemilka's standings artificially bad because they've just lost so many games. It's an interesting call there. All right, finally we'll finish off with Washington, Calgary. Calgary, basically, I think probably almost the best team playing in the NHL right now in terms of consistency. Algorithm almost says that. I mean, it says like Colorado's could be better, or Dallas could be better, or Tampa Bay could be better, but they're playing great right now as well. Now they're starting Vladar tonight instead of the normal goalie. His rating's lower. Vanacek is back and been playing better for Washington. So the projected score says Washington barely in both iterations of it, even though they're not playing as well. because Vanacek's going to play that much better than Vladar. You can get him at an underdog line. Smells like a tie 3-3 though. Also, or 4-4 for some reason. I mean, craziness here. So a lot of interesting things to play in this late game. The times are that's a 9 o'clock game. Yeah, they're starting a little earlier now. So that's a 9 p.m. East Coast game. So a lot of interesting stuff. All right, guys, good luck, everybody. May all your dictators be toppled. Let's get rid of Putin as fast as possible. And the White Picks be winning as well.